What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, want to look at a Friday the 13th game rumor. This actually was back, I think, like June 25th. I remember seeing it, and I think I even wrote it down to myself. Alex, make this video. Never did it, so you're seeing it about 2 weeks late, but that's okay. This is an interesting one. It's an interesting one because we already have confirmation a couple times that Friday the 13th is getting a game, right? And we've kind of chronicalized like the whole thing. You can go back on the channel, even look at videos. What it's always sounded like is it's just going to be another, multiplayer asymmetrical game, okay? So this rumor is kind of a two-parter, comes from a person that's kind of 50-50, so take it with a grain of salt. I think it's more of just an interesting discussion than it is, this can absolutely be correct, right? We got to have to wait and see. But I feel like it could be true, and I also want it to be true, because I always talk about, before, we get into the rumor, I want more of these horror games to not that I don't like the asymmetrical things. I mean, you look at Friday the 13th, Dead by Daylight was the pioneer, and it's the one that's lasted the longest. It's been the most successful, and it's just kept people around better than any other game on the planet in that genre, right? Friday the 13th, I think, really proved that you can do it with other games. That's, I think, the impact Friday the 13th had. Now, was it the most polished? Was it, the best one? No, but I think it had something very special about it. It's a game that's very special to me, and it's a game that lasted, quite a while, and then, it's actually going away this upcoming December. I think it might already be delisted, but they're also just taking it offline. So the last Friday the 13th game, I think 2017, that game is going to be, brutally eliminated, let's say, in just a short, 6 months from now. Okay, so in case I guess you didn't know. But again, the rumor has always been it's getting another asymmetrical game. They have confirmed it is getting a multiplayer game, and I don't even remember, maybe in the confirmation they also said multiplayer. Maybe that's where it came from. So that's what's confirmed. That's what we know up to right here. But coming from our leaker here, we have Jason is coming to Fortnite next season. Collab will allegedly feature no reference to the Friday the 13th brand. 2 new games in stages of development. One is multiplayer. The other features more linear gameplay. And that's all they gave. The rest of it's going more towards the TV show. And, it's a franchise that's obviously had a lot of trouble getting itself made into pretty much anything, over the last 10, 15 years. So that stuff is important, I think, in terms of the branding, right? But in terms of the gaming stuff, this is what I care about the most. So the multiplayer thing, was just throwing it out there. Now, again, that's not a rumor. That part is not a rumor. That part, well, we know at least one game. Maybe if the multiplayer part to it is a rumor, you could say that, whatever. But, in terms of 2 games in development, 1 game is not a rumor. The second game would be. That second game, right, more linear kind of thing, gets people to believe it could be single player. Again, this goes back to what I said. I'm not opposed to asymmetrical, but I think their shelf life is short. I think we kind of just repeat the same things every single time. All the way back to Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, we've had Predator. And, okay, not necessarily all horror here, but you've had Predator and Ghostbusters, and these are games that still suffer the same fate. Killer Clowns from Outer Space just came out a month ago. It's pretty much dead. It's a good game. I actually like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but the game is basically dead about 1 month in. So these are just things that constantly happen. It's a worry from me, and you can only shake up the formula when you're in this genre of asymmetrical where you have survivors and you have the killer, and the killer is out to get them and the survivors are out to escape. There's only so many ways you can do that, and they end up, repeating themselves in a lot of ways. So am I opposed to it? I mean, here's the deal, though. When it comes to Friday the 13th, what I don't understand is they had one. Now, when you say it's going to get, say, a multiplayer game again, right, or it's just coming back, it's just going to get a new game, are you really going to do an asymmetrical game again? Because you just did. That was the other Friday the 13th game. So what's this one? One killer. Maybe not. Maybe more than just Jason, but you could go more into a Texas Chainsaw type thing. But it's probably Jason versus survivors, and it's well, you did that, and it worked pretty well. By the way, it established a lot of different means to escape. You can kill the killer if you're smart and plan. I mean, the game did a lot of cool and pioneering type stuff. But you're going to do it again? Why would you even do that? So, to be honest, when I hear 2 games from Friday the 13th, I only need 1, and I only need it to not be multiplayer. I don't even know why you would do multiplayer again, unless it's because the rights are so effed up, and the game's being delisted, the game's being taken offline. You're not going to have that game anymore after 2024. So going into, I think there might be private servers. You might be able to play it with friends. You'll have to organize your own get-togethers, but the game is largely dead, right? So to be very fair, the game will be dead. So you go into 2025. Are you just going to bring it back, and you're going to bring it back more like safely, you know what I mean, in a safer kind of environment where the game's not going to be taken away? I mean, credit where credit's due. The game actually lasted quite a while, 2017 to now. Like, that's pretty okay compared to games that get killed off 2-3 years after they, release. So I don't know. Like, I don't know why you would want that. Even as a gamer, I don't know why you'd even want that. Like, you had that for the last 7 years. I am more interested. I am more excited about the prospect of a single player type thing. Now, technically, this leaker doesn't say that. It's more linear gameplay. I mean, it could be a freaking kart racer game. You know what I mean? That's linear to a degree. There's a set amount of controls. I don't even know why you would describe a game, by the way. Don't even know why. And this person, I believe, is more into movie leaks and TV show leaks. So granted, they're not coming from, I think, a gaming background. To describe a game like that to anybody, I feel like it's just confusing and totally unnecessary. Single player, you can get into genres. You can go action adventure. You can go horror. We all kind of know what a horror single player game is like. Maybe choice based. Like, those are the things you say out loud. You don't say linear gameplay. I don't even know what that means. So hopefully that does mean, though, if we're going to read into it, single player game. That's what I want. I think I've been pitching that for Scream. I've been pitching that for pretty much anything. I think the next horror game I like the next horror game we get to be a single player thing. I've really pitched Scream. I think Scream would work so well as a choice-based game. You get a call and you have to give answers based off what's happening, and quick time events when you're being chased. I think Scream would work so freaking well. At the same time, it would also work kind of in a multiplayer Among Us type game as well. So I could see both, but I would want single player. Friday the 13th, really any of these games you can make single player because you just tell a story. You just come up with like a movie script in your head and then play it out as a game, and you have people react, make choice. It has to be a choice-based game. I guess the issue is if you do single player, you're also kind of pigeonholing yourself into one genre as well. But you know what? We don't have a lot of those games. Until Dawn, which I think is a phenomenal one, and that's not even based off of a property or anything. So hopefully we get something. Clearly, they're trying to bring Friday the 13th back. We see it with Jason in Multiverses. He's one of the cooler characters in Multiverses. So I think it's going to happen. I'm sure he gets at least one game. I don't know if he'll get more than that, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.